Superhero Training 101. Adrian Anderson's Life Map. With great power comes great responsibility. This is one of my favorite quotes, and I feel like it's particularly important when talking about education. We as adult educators have a lot of power. We are educating those who will be helping students for years and years to come. So it's important that we recognize the power that comes with that and the great responsibility that it is paired with. So first, we'll meet the hero. We'll discuss some humble beginnings, teachers who became my heroes, mentors along the way, becoming a mentor, and defining my mission. So my name's Adrian Anderson, and currently living in Boone, North Carolina. My birthday is in Christmas season. It's December 28th, so I just claimed the whole season. I went to Sumter High School in Sumter, South Carolina. I went to Coastal Carolina University and graduated with a degree in interdisciplinary studies with a focus in academic administration and diversity, which I'll talk about a little bit later. And now I'm in the higher ed program here at Appalachian State University. Some fun facts about me. My favorite dessert is sea salt caramel cheesecake ice cream. Very specific. Any brand of this is wonderful, but that flavor just does it. My most salient identity is my ethnicity. I am a first-generation college student, and I recently engaged. So those humble beginnings. So the three things that stuck out to me in my life map journey are school, church, and music. I always found that in school, I looked for a challenge. I was in honors classes early on, but before that, I was very talkative in class, couldn't sit still. That's because I was bored. I didn't find the information challenging or interesting per se, and I didn't care for it to that point. But once I was put into the right classes and challenged, I really found that I really like school. Church, I found my grounding in church is my earliest form of education. When I think about church, I think about Sunday school and vacation Bible school and the songs, the hymns, the Bible and all those things. I was, when it came close to, when I was in high school, I even did public speaking at religious speeches just as a hobby for fun. And I really enjoyed it. And music is where I've always felt grounded. Throughout my life, I feel like there's a soundtrack that could be 100 disc set on CDs or something. But I definitely feel like music has helped me every step of the way. There's a song that I can relate to in many different genres of music. I enjoy singing. I consider myself karaoke good, not great. And I even played a few instruments, the alto and baritone saxophone for a little while. So I've really enjoyed music. And these three things I think really are a good snapshot of myself. So teachers who became my heroes, thinking through the lens of adult education and the theories we've been talking about, I thought about two teachers, Mrs. Moses and Miss Jackson. Now they both took two different approaches, I feel, to education, but they were grounded in the theories of humanism. Learning, is about the development of the person. And I feel like I didn't quite connect to school before them. I feel like they were able to use real life examples, show me why this information was relevant to my life, and also teach beyond the confines of the classroom, talking about personal experiences. I remember in Miss Battles Jackson's class, we did autobiographies. We shared them with the whole class, and we talked about her life and her struggles and her successes, her children, things we wanted out of life. And I mean, this was in middle school, but I felt like I gained the most from that class. I didn't feel like I was just learning, for the sake of it, or random things here and there in the chapter and how they had laid it out. She really used the book, actually. And, we were better for it. We were all improving on our test scores and things as the quarters progressed. And I really thank her for opening up my mind to what ELA could be, because I was not a fan before her class, but very much was after it. And I always loved math, but Miss Moses was able to pull some things out of me that I didn't think I could quite do, and challenge me when I thought things were easy or when I had one way of doing things. She pushed me to think of it differently. And I appreciate both of them for that. And for those reasons, they became my heroes. Jumping forward just a bit, thinking about mentors along the way, and what theories can I relate to that in the realm of adult education. I think specifically of Steve Harrison. He is the vice president of auxiliary enterprises at my undergrad, and I assisted in his office as a student for about a year and a half before graduating, and then working there full time for about 6 or 7 months before coming here. And I really look up to him because he was a textbook case of providing me cognitive apprenticeships, right? So I was going to be a teacher. I was, a middle level education major for math and science, and I enjoyed that. And I enjoyed being a mentor in that. But I found working in this office, having my hands in housing and all the contracts, food services, even managing the post office and things like that. All of these things were under his umbrella, and I realized the amount of influence and power that that one position alone had at the institution in shaping the experiences of all the adult learners on our campus. And I found that to be extremely intriguing. And I tapped his shoulder to learn more, and he took me under his wing. And really framed my thinking around higher education. Um, I think the thing that stands out the most is when we're talking about how to frame budgets in higher education. And he told me a budget is a moral document where a university or a business values is going to show up on the bottom line. So what areas were the university supporting financially and what areas were they not supporting, and what that looked like. And in framing my mind that way, it just pushed me towards the career that I'm in now in higher education, because I found it you get so much more influence, I personally feel, that I would have had in a classroom, with the influence that I would have, supervising a residence hall as I do now, or hopefully one day being a director of a department, and so on. And he really helped frame my thinking around that through these cognitive apprenticeships. We read books together. We read articles. All the while I was assisting him on projects, and he would bring me into offices and introduce me to people, and it was a really really influential experience, and I'm very grateful for. So I think in adult education, these cognitive apprenticeships are extremely important. Important parts of social cognitive theory, because they can really shape, or at least for me, they really shaped my whole perception and outlook on what it is to be an adult educator, a staff member on a college campus. So I talked a little bit about, I was in a middle level education program. And in that program, we were required to spend a semester in an elementary school and mentor a student. So I did. I signed up. I'll never forget Landon. And I learned that I could learn so much from a mentee. I thought I was supposed to be giving him all the lessons and teaching him things, but he really showed me some things. Besides the fact that he beat me in chess once, or a couple times, he also showed me, some things are very important. Sometimes you have to take a seat back and just kind of let life happen around you. And I think as we become older, we forget those things. We want to micromanage a lot of our lives, and that's not always possible. Um, I never forget the first day I met Landon, and I was over my time with him, and I said I didn't want to hold you from recess, and he said, well, there are some things that are more important than recess, so I don't mind sitting here talking to you. And that just meant the world to me, and that kind of shaped our relationship. Later on, I began a student teach math and science in a Title I middle school, and I found myself wanting to reach out and talk to the students outside of the math I was teaching because of the situations. And I began mentoring in the classroom, and I found that at the end of that experience, I didn't want to teach math and science. I wanted to be a mentor, an influencer, and a helper. And in that, I began to redefine what it meant to be an educator, and particularly an adult educator. Paired that experience with the experience I had working in the office on campus, it really defined my growth and where I was going. So then I changed my major to interdisciplinary studies with a focus in academic administration and diversity. And it was a very intentional degree. So, of course, I had all these classes, these prerequisites for education. So I had a lot of curriculum development, diversity in education, all those things. But I needed to pair some administrative tasks and knowledge with that, some business classes, some creative idea generation classes, so that I could better prepare myself to take on a career in higher education and create my own like mini higher ed master's degree before I even came here. And hopefully that has shaped me into a student affairs superhero. I'm always striving to be that every day I step foot on this campus. Lastly, I'll leave you with a quote from Maya Angelou.